So here's a look at the house from way up here. The customer has videos of the water just going over this like a little waterfall. We are going to be removing this board. We're going to be changing this. Oh, the big tree root. I gotta work around these sprinkler lines tomorrow. These we can go under and then go right into our sump basin. Okay, this is our next job. And with the snow, we've been delayed. So it's finally nice enough that we can get out here and work. So Tom took down the panel. Got some of the equipment in here. And I'll show you just a little bit. All right, so they have this negative drainage. And they have a hill here. It's about 20 feet tall on the tallest part. I'll walk you up there later. We are going to be removing this board. We're going to be changing this. We are going to put a circle step in here like this. So they have a nice step down. We're going to be putting a sump pump basin in there, channeling all the water from the downspouts and the pooling that's on this side and the pooling over there that comes around and goes here. The customer has videos of the water just going over this like a little waterfall. So we're going to be putting the sump basin right here. He's actually going to be doing that texture stuff over his concrete in here. So this is going to be kind of left for the concrete people. But here is the screen sun porch. Here's a door that the water can get into. But it is pitched going this way. And it is pitched going this way. And then everything pitches over to here. And it puddles right into this area here. So they have to sump pump all this out to the driveway whenever it rains hard. And if they don't, it goes all the way through here and into that door over there. So by putting the sump pump here, we will eliminate all this water. Tom is setting this up. So what we're going to have here, we are going to have a 12-inch basin here, and that's going to collect all this surface water. He says it starts here and works this way and that way. We will funnel that into our sump basin, and then we're over here, all the water that comes in from over here puddles all into here. We're going to catch this downspout, 12-inch catch basin here to collect all the rain runoff, and then both those basins will empty into our sump basin. So that's just a little walkthrough of what we're going to be doing, and I'll explain more as we're going along. Let me stand on it.
Big, huh?
So it'll be about like that, right?
What's that?
About like that? I mean, we can play around with this because we got to dig out a little bit further, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the rock. Let's see. You're talking this is going to go about here?
Yeah.
Well, should I get a bucket? I can put a bucket under there. Okay, so what we are doing is we're going to be taking out this board that's holding this soil up, and we're putting a little wall with a step going down to make it a real step. Just use gray so it will match the cement because you're never going to match these bricks exact, and it's better to go a totally different color than to have a funny looking red next to it. So that's kind of how that's going to go. That's just giving us an outline. Now the solid concrete's here. You see that line? All this right here is slate with our rock underneath. And like I said, they're going to have this all cement all redone. So what we're going to do is when we put the basin in, this is also going to be a dry well. So we're making this big. We're going to fill this all in with rock, have holes in the basin. That's how our line's going to go. And from here, this is going to go straight across. The sump pump line is going to go here. We are going to exit it out a hole in the fence right below there. And then when it rains, it will just go down the driveway. Okay. Okay, we got the sod up. To there, and like I said, the sump pump line is going to go that way. show you something real quick. Do you see how sandy this is? That is complete sand. Well, he actually had an engineer come. He cored the soil and did a soil sample survey, and came out perfect percolation. So all this drains really well. So this is why when we're putting our sump basin here, this whole area is also going to be a dry well. That way in small storms, the water can just percolate and not have to be pumped out.
So let's just take a couple moments to talk about why we chose a dry well for this particular property. And we do that by looking at a soil survey. So here's the soil survey for this property, and we're going to move right down to typical profile. And you can see that this all the way down to 5 feet is just sand or gravel. Next, we're going to move down to properties, and it says drainage class is well drained. Another important part is depth to restrictive feature, more than 80 inches. That means we don't have to worry about hitting rock or bedrock or anything like that. The depth of water table is 48 to 122 inches, and I can tell you from excavating around in this area, I've never hit groundwater. And when they did the actual test, they went down 126 inches and they never hit groundwater. But the most important part is the percolation. And for this, it shows us KSAT, which is moderately high to high, 0.6 to 6 inches an hour. And when they tested it, it actually tested it over 16 inches an hour. So what that means is you could dig a hole and put 16 inches of water in it, and that water would be gone in an hour. Even though this property drains really well and has great percolation, we still want to use an overflow for heavy storms and peace of mind. So in this project, we're using a pump. So I hope this helps to give you a better idea of how we design our systems and why this dry well is going to work amazing here.
Let me get levels right there.
About 34.
Okay, you gotta go down a little more. I can get it with this. Tom's got to clean that up. What is that right there?
No, it's not hard.
I'll get a look at that. Looks like a pipe. That is 46 and a half right there.
46?
Yeah,
Okay, we're good.
46 and a half. So right there. I gotta get down there.
Okay.
I need that ladder.
Just clean this a little bit,
Okay.
and then you can go down. Well, I got to dump this
Just a rock, I guess. I can stay down here?
Yeah, you just go to the side. Let's see if it'll work.
What? Now I'm trapped?
Yep.
I trust you. At the bottom.
That was less than 40, right?
39 3/4. All right, Tom just went to get some stone. And in the meantime, I told him to leave me here because there's little things that have to be done. So all this stone has to be moved and this little part has to be dug by hand. So when he's gone, I'll rather do that. Get that out of there. You see there's a sprinkler head right here. So I want to do this by hand. 12-inch basins going there. We need the stone to start filling this in for the hybrid dry well sump basin. And another little thing that has to be done by hand. Digging over here because there is a sprinkler head in here somewhere. So this has to be dug by hand too right here. So let me give you a look around since I have a minute. You can see how high this hill is. So as of right now, I'll explain it when we get up there. By looking at this, you would think the neighbor up here is sending their water down, but they're not. I'll show you up here. See, they have a hill too. So there's no way their water can get over here. So here's a look at the house from way up here. You can tell a lot of water goes down this hill. But they have a swell when it hits that rock, and a lot of water is diverted to over there. And then it goes out by that shed. Now they might be getting water from this neighbor over here, but it shouldn't be that bad. So you have this big gully. A lot of water goes in there and sits in there. But then I'm sure when we get a good rain, it probably comes through the fence here, and then it goes down and sheets off. All right, so let me get to work. I'll start over here. See how close we can go here. There's a footer right there. Got the basin here, and we got a couple 12-inch basins. They're going in to collect water.
That looks like plenty of holes.
Yep, plenty of holes. Okay, and this basin screws in. There we go. All right. There we go. All right, we got our stone. some more and then we'll flatten it.
Okay.
Yep, got it.
No.
Right here.
Yes,
It's
you can go about there. I think I like that.
1 inch. To this?
Yeah.
To get it center?
Yeah, just to make sure we got it centered.
Come on. Okay. 49.
So you want 24 and a half. I think you're pretty much right there.
I have a good eye. There's the screw, look.
I put one inside the door.
Yeah, let's get this fabric up. Okay. See the level? Level that way. And level that way. Perfect. Almost. Right there.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, Tom's going to start digging. This will be the trench for the pipe and also the trench for the electric line for the pump. And a basin, 12-inch basin goes here. Just making sure there's no sprinkler lines. Wait. Stop. Okay, there's a sprinkler line right here, so we have to move over. Stop. Let's go that way. Go that way. Go up, up. We got this here. Might be an old downspout line. Okay, that's it. I'll just dig this by hand. No sense wrecking anything. So we got this line here, goes across, and then that. Tom will start digging that way. What? What are you saying?
There's a sprinkler line right under that line.
Tom's locating that black pipe. That's it right there? Really? All right, so there's black pipe here. We followed it over and it just ends right here. So it probably went over that way and to that downspout, I would assume. So it looks like it might have been a downspout pipe at one time. All right, we did talk to the customer and he said that is an old drain line that was cut. The original homeowner had that in. So we can cut that one out, but we still have to go on top of the sprinkler line. So there's a line over here which I'm sure we're going to have to cross. But it's here, it could go that way. Go ahead. So you think we found enough pipes in this ground? Let's see what's over there now. Tom's gonna dig here. I did this by hand yesterday. There's foundation here for this wall, and there's also a sprinkler line right where the hole is that I dug. Oh, there's a big tree root. So I used to have 5 big trees on the side over here. All the roots are all over to here. And there's where you hit cement. Now we're getting back to the sandy soil. All right, our trench is all dug. This left side here is completely sloped and all ready for pipe. We're going to do that in the morning to get a fresh start so we can just start laying pipe. So this is where our 12-inch basin is going to go. Our electric line for the pump is going to also go in this trench. We're going to put it in PVC. We're going to go into here and have it come up right there and work around these sprinkler lines tomorrow. This actually is the old drain line that's coming out. These we can go under and then go right into our sump basin. This trench is dug, but we just have to clean up the bottom a little. I just have to cut these little roots. Our 12-inch basin is going right here. That's all loose. We just got to clean that back out. And in the morning, Tom's going to try to get that little piece of concrete off so we can get a little deeper. That's from that footer, from that post. So, yep, we'll see you in the morning. Okay, Tom's getting his drill out. See that big piece of concrete there? That's part of the footing for this wall. He's got to get that out for our basin. We just got to widen this out a little bit. Still got to cut this out. And Tom just got the laser out to double check this. We have to have our pipes come in low because we are putting a step down and we have to have enough room to put our rest of our rock and the step in. Yeah, that looks real good. Now the basin can sit flush on that side. Awesome.
So we used the laser, we got everything pitched going this way, at least a 1 or 2% slope. And next thing we have to do is make sure that our pipe is underneath a block step that we're going to be making. So to do that, so we zero this on the basin. I know my block is going to be 3 inches below this. So you got 3 inches for the block and then another 4 inches for the pipe. So we need to come in at least -7.5. That's 3 inches for the block and then 4 inches for the pipe. So I got like another 1/2 inch below that, so we're good there. Same thing there. So like I said, our pipe has to be under the block because we don't want to have to chisel the block out to make it work.
All right, so here's our 12-inch basin. We got holes on the bottom. We put stone so any water won't stay in the bottom. And then we kind of like these pilot lock 12-inch basins. You can put your hole for the pipe anywhere you want. They're nice and sturdy. And no sponsorship here. It's just telling you what we like.
That's great.
So we have to get under that, so we'll go this way.
Yeah, something.
Good.
Go ahead. Good.
Okay.
We've got an inch to spare.
Okay, good.
64.
64?
Yeah.
Either side.
Right at the end.
Okay, right here. Okay. 64. Big step. That one. Right.
Got a couple inches at least.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, Tom's just getting the rope on the pump. We have a 2-inch PVC here, right here. That is just for the cord. Just not going to do anything else but have the cord in there so it's protected. So here's a look at everything. We just got to fish the cord over to here, and then it will come out and plug in right there.
Wait, it's slow.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I'm at this junction. Right.
One more?
Yeah, right here. Yeah, if you can. In here. Okay. Okay. 17. You got it? Okay, it's in. Good?
Good.
Okay. We got 4.
45.
If we cut this off, it'll be perfect, right? Where do you want me to cut it?
Yeah, right there.
Alright guys, we lost sound for the next clip, so I'll walk you through it. We filled in the trench, got it all packed in, got the sod back on, basins in. This is where the cord comes out for the pump. As soon as we get the sump pump all hooked up, we'll be able to plug that in. Then we just need to clean this all up. We still have to connect the sump pump, get that all hooked up. And this pipe on the right is only dry fitted. It is Friday and it's supposed to rain this weekend, so we wanted to have this in here just until we come back on Monday. The sump pump line still has to go in here right next to this line, and that goes straight out to the fence like I said before. Here's a quick look at the downspout. So Tom was able to get that concrete down, so now you won't see that pipe. The rock will cover it nicely. And I think we're going to end the video here. The project comes out very nice. Customer's very happy. We're very happy. Want to thank you for watching the video, and I hope you come back for part 2. Bye bye.